World of Champions, proudly sponsored by Toyota.
On to stage 4 then, and in the bikes was Ruben Faria, who almost ran out of fuel on stage 3 and started outside the top 15 for stage 4, who did well. He started behind KTM rider Price and he ended up gaining a little over 2 minutes, which was enough for second on the first part of the marathon stage. And the day was about both speed and conservation, mostly of tyres. Bereda pushed his equipment the most, and it was he who actually paid the price with his second penalty for speeding in 2 days. That time cost him 5 minutes, robbing him of all his advantage and more. Kevin Benavides, the local hero, continued his strong pace, riding with his Honda teammates. He took third and with it kept second overall. After being passed by Gonçalves, he was there when the factory rider got lost later on. In the end, Paulo followed me. We arrived here together. It was a good stage. It was really fast in one part. Then after that, we had a route that was really technical. With 4 stages gone, it's a Honda lockout. Gonçalves from Benavides and Bereda. Svitko, the best KTM, impressive in 4th, but 5 minutes down. In the quads, it was Casale in the lead after 4 stages, with a 7-minute gap over surprise Sergei Karyakhin. Second overall at the start of day 4 special, Giniel de Villiers seemed to be well in contention, but the South African's Hilux suffered. At these altitudes, his engine seriously lacked power, and he lost close to 9 minutes. Nasser Al-Attiyah was not a happy man on the long loop around Huhoy as well. Despite a good start with the second fastest time at checkpoint 1, he struggled and had to settle for 4th, losing close to 5 minutes on the day's winner.
We tried to push, but we cannot follow the buggy, and the buggy is too fast.
The Dakar sensation was again impressive as Sebastian Loeb admitted he took it easy, even stopping when he heard sentinel signals of cars overtaking. False alerts, it seems. He crossed the finish line in 3rd spot, only 27 seconds adrift. The man of the day, though, was Stefan Petterhansel. Not worried by the altitude, the Frenchman flew to his first win in a Peugeot. His 66th stage success, the 33rd in a car. Monsieur Dakar is back in 2nd spot of the overall, just under 5 minutes behind Loeb. Overall, it's Loeb who leads his teammate Petterhansel by nearly 5 minutes. They're well clear of Al-Attiyah though in 3rd, and that 11-minute gap is not promising for the lead Mini driver. The start of the second half of the marathon was very high, nearly 3,500 metres in Villazon, which is more than high enough to leave riders breathless and struggling to concentrate. Difficult conditions in which to open the road into Bolivia, the second country of this year's Dakar. The hugely hospitable Bolivian crowd was out in force to see race leader Gonçalves set off first, exploring new routes and headings across the high plains of Bolivia. He dropped 8 minutes to the winner, only narrowly keeping his overall lead. Previous day Honda locked out the top 3, today KTM locked out the top 4, and in 4th place it was Matthias Faulkner, clearly getting over his lack of speed from the day before. And the big Austrian was the 3rd of 3 KTMs, all within 20 seconds of each other. Just ahead of him was Stefan Svitko, his bike repaired and working well enough on the special for him to finish 3rd to get his race back on track. The Slovnaft rider is into 2nd, overall only 1:45 from the lead. For the 2nd year in a row, it's KTM rookies causing waves. Last year it was Walkner and Price, this year it's Antoine Mio. On a more complicated stage, Mio proved he'd done his rally raid homework. He took 2nd to move ahead of Faria. But it was Price who set the pace. Finishing over 2 minutes clear of Mio, the sophomore rider is responding to the pressure from all angles with calm assuredness. The best of the Toyota boys at this point is not de Villiers, but his South African compatriot, Leroy Poulter. He pushed his Hilux to the limit, but couldn't do better than 5th on stage 5. Nasser Al-Attiyah must be finding this Dakar rather frustrating. So dominant a year ago, the Qatari couldn't do much against the Peugeot clan. He's simply slower, losing 3 extra minutes on the 5th stage.
Yesterday until today, the Peugeot winning every stage. And yesterday and today, I was pushing, like hell. I couldn't catch anybody,
Truly, the route to Uni was terrain for Stefan Petter-Hansel, but taking off first was not an advantage, and he had to settle for third spot, losing 3 minutes. There was a battle royale between Sainz and Petter-Hansel, and the Spaniard eventually caught up his French teammate at the end of the day. But like yesterday, Sainz missed out on the stage victory by just 22 seconds. However, there was no stopping Sebastian Loeb in his first Dakar. After claiming the first 2 specials of the event, the Frenchman added a third win, but this time on Bolivian soil. The 9-time WRC champion increased his overall lead, now 7 minutes 48 on Petter-Hansel. After just 4 full stages, Loeb has won as many specials as Vatanen in 1987. That year, the Finn was to go on and win the Dakar. Leading the trucks after 5 stages was former car driver Federico Villagra in his De Roy Iveco, but it was pretty tight at the top. He was tailed by Peter Versluis, just 5 seconds behind. And only 16 seconds further back, Hans Stacey in his new for this year MAN. Our old friend the Sala de Uni provided the backdrop for stage 6. It's cold up there, with riders doing what they could to fend off the chill as the sun took its time to warm the vast and barren lands that border a Uni. Cold and altitude combined, and a perfect storm for mistakes though. And Barreda was the first to suffer misfortune, his bike expiring on him. We found him and his teammate Paolo Cecchi desperately trying to fix the machine at kilometre 203. Bad news also struck the Husqvarna team as Ruben Ferreira crashed early in the stage, breaking his wrist. The Portuguese rider was airlifted from the stage and said a premature goodbye to his 2016 Dakar. Paulo Gonçalves, the race leader, rode a lot with Juan Pedrero. Back and forth they switched positions, but Pedrero started 9 minutes ahead of him, so Gonçalves certainly wasn't hanging around. He was in the lead of the stage all the way to checkpoint 3, then things changed.
Oof, the head. Wow.
Headache?
Oh, yesterday, at the end of the stage, a lot, and today, oof.
Austrian Matthias Walkner spent a lot of the day in the dust at Antoine Mio when they were looking for waypoints. He got past 160 kilometres later, and the big KTM rider felt the day's exertions in the last 80. But that was where he overtook Gonçalves in the times for second. But it was Toby Price who became the first man to lead out and win a stage on the rally this year. Impressive considering the scale of the task.
It's going to be pretty difficult to get to the finish line of this one. The pace of the first week we've had so far has been up there pretty high. So compared to what last year's Dakar was, the pace of that first week wasn't that strong. But yeah, we're doing the best we can, and as long as we minimise mistakes, we should be pretty good.
This was Ignacio Casali in the second part of the marathon stage. He came back to the bivouac an hour 20 behind the leader, but that matters little. He crashed the next day after a broken collarbone. The Chilean is out. Surprise of the Dakar is Sergio Kariakin, who's 4th on stage 6 and now is 3rd overall. Everything is still possible as he chases the Patronelli brothers. On to the battle for the top positions in the car. Sebastian Loeb, after his 3rd win, was the first to take off. Within shooting distance of his team rivals, he was to be caught and even overtaken. He then suffered severe mechanical problems. The first bad day for the Frenchman, who lost 8 minutes and his overall lead. Had a first puncture at kilometre 200. We then had throttle problems, it was blocked flat out. I had to drive with the circuit breaker and full throttle. I then hit another stone and had another puncture. Taking off behind Sainz in 3rd was clearly an advantage for Stefan Petter-Hansel. He went on to win his 2nd stage of this edition of the Dakar, his 67th success so far. And to add to his good day, Monsieur Dakar captured the overall lead with a slim 27-second advantage over Loeb in the general classification. President Evo Morales took his opportunity to see the race off from Bolivian soil. And the second man off into the Potosi region was Matthias Walkner, started, as many of the top riders were, by Evo Morales himself. However, just 17 kilometres into the stage, drama unfolded as the third man on the stage, Paulo Gonçalves, came across the stranded form of Walkner. The Austrian flung fully 20 feet clear of his bike. The bike was barely scratched, but Walkner himself was left with a broken femur. The medical helicopter was on its way. Eventually his teammates Quintanilla and Aranha arrived to look after him, while Gonçalves rejoined the race, and the first of the medical assistants arrived. The day's winner was Antoine Mio for his first ever special win in his 6th full stage. The gap, 3 minutes and change to second, and that was Gonçalves. Price rode on today, but opening the road for the second day was more costly for the big Australian. He lost time in the overall to Gonçalves, the race leader. And now this is how it looks in the overall standings. Paulo Gonçalves is 3 minutes 12 to the good over Toby Price. Svitko impressing in third, 9 minutes down. Quintanilla, Benavides, your top 5. On the first part of stage 7 for the car, Sebastian Loeb was flying. After 230 Ks, the WRC legend had gained over 2 minutes on Sainz and 3 on Peter Hansel, continuing to stretch his lead in the overall standings. Almost unstoppable is Sebastian Loeb. However, once he stopped at the start of the second special, there were some gremlins that appeared, and he admitted his Peugeot was suffering mechanical problems. He was eventually able to carry on, but his advantage faded away. No stage win for the Frenchman, but he still retook the overall lead. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be in the lead of the rest day, but okay, we'll work for the next 3 days as they're complicated. The days after the rest day, we'll have a lot to lose. We'll do our best. After getting so close to victory this year, Carlos Sainz finally conquered his first special on the last before the rest day. The Spaniard focused on chasing Peter Hansel and therefore gaining time to win his 28th stage success on the Dakar, but he's still got a long way to go to catch Loeb. So in the overall standings, it's a gap of 2 minutes 22 between Loeb and Peter Hansel, the rookie showing the old timer the way around. Sainz third, Peugeot with a lockout, Alatia fourth. In the trucks, Peter Versluis had a monster of stages 5, 6 and 7, gaining time hand over fist. He's got a 5-minute lead going into the rest day. Second is De Roy, and he's just about holding off the commands of Mardy Ivan Nikolaev, who gained speed. And as the week rode on, a truck race is hotting up. Nothing is certain. The Dakar has a long way to go. Bolivia is behind us, but new adventures beckon in Argentina and the race to Rosario.